right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going into softball versus Morrow. These two players are going to be faced off in an epic Terran versus Zerg. And of course, alongside me is going to be EGLZ Gamer. Jake, how you doing, man?
Doing great. It's great to be here.
Get to cast some epic TVZ. And what's great about it is you are both Terran and Zerg. You're like the Morrow.
I am the Morrow of America.
Of America, yes.
Right.
A little bit more handsome, though. Morrow's a handsome guy, but
yeah.
you're a little bit more handsome.
A little bit better looking.
Yeah. Nevertheless, we're going to be heading over into our good old map, Terminus SE. Nope. Take it back, Gretorp. Take it back. Terminus SE. A little minor changes, but I do like the changes that have gone into this.
Go ahead and tell the people what the changes actually are.
That's a great statement that you just made. Okay, why don't I go ahead and do that? Well, the big change is going to be some of the mineral patches were moved a little tiny bit, but the big thing is going to be the rocks that are at the third. There are two different rocks. One that's saying, hey, I'm at the third, and the other that are actually stopping you from being able to make like a hatchery there really quickly. And there's another pair of rocks that actually lead into the third. And what it basically does is says, hey, you have to, as the game goes on a little bit further into the early mid game. Oh, I'm sorry, there's no rocks here, but there are rocks here. That's what I was talking about. And these rocks, what it basically says is, as you head into the times, maybe 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 10 minutes, where you get a lot more DPS, you can go ahead, kill these rocks, and now you have two entrances to your base. So what it really does is kind of changes the map structure as the time of the map goes on. Really cool feature of a lot of these maps with the destructible rocks.
Interesting. It also feels like that would be really good for Zerg. You know, a lot of times Zerg opens with Zerglings, of course, and then they could have some Zerglings start hitting on those rocks pretty early on.
Yeah.
I mean, Zerglings don't do a lot of damage. I think it's like 2 or maybe 3 a hit at best.
Yeah. You know what? A lot of times you see these very abusive Terrans that say, okay, well, you know what? Normally at this stage, I'm super safe. You know, let's say they have like 4 barracks going across here, and you can't do anything. You know you're not going to do Zergling Baneling pressure because theoretically they should be able to stop something like that. So they go ahead and say, okay, I'm not going to tech at all. I'm going to get a really quick third base, and all of a sudden I'm in a position where you feel like you can't kill me, and I'm taking advantage of that and going ahead and not defending against that, getting a quick third, and all of a sudden they have a huge advantage economically.
Exactly. We do see that the hatchery, then the spawning pool was the build order of choice by Morrow, which I have to say is the best build order opening for Zerg versus Terran. We do see no gas from softball, though. So, we haven't really seen one racks expand being that popular as of late. People more lean towards the Hellion openings and an occasional Reaper type opening or something, or even a 2-racks opening.
Yeah,
but
this is very uncharacteristic of Zerg versus Terran, really, these days. It does look like this drone. Oh my god, this drone is in here for 10 years and 14 months. I keep doing the 10 years, 14 months thing. I should stop that. Nevertheless, there is a bunker going down for softball. It looks like Morrow will be able to defend against this very easily. But there goes the SCV, and he's just going to continue mining from here on out. Looks like a couple of Marines are going to be rallied all the way over. Are there any? Nope. He's going to go completely Queens, and I like that decision. There we go. Queens going down, and 8 Zerglings on the way. That is very nice of Morrow, and I think softball won't be able to do a single solitary thing.
Yeah, I agree. Do have some Zerglings coming up. We also have no gas from Morrow, which is both players are totally neglecting any kind of tech. They're just focusing on getting that economy out. We do have a lot of Zerglings actually just got built for Morrow, though. This is the 8 slow Zergling rush kind of thing. This is something that I thought I was famous for in Brood War.
Yeah, you would win a lot of games with just 8 Zerglings. You actually beat me a couple times like that until I realized, hey, 8 Zerglings are pretty good. Let me go ahead and get Marines.
I've made Artosis and Hydra Rage more times than I could probably count.
I know.
With 8 slow Zerglings. You have a couple of Zerglings trying to scout in here, and 5 Marines do take it out, though. But like I was talking about earlier, here's these Zerglings picking away at these rocks. Doing a pretty good job, I must say. The rocks don't have that much health. It's only 2,000, so they can pick them off in all due time. Morrow's actually doing a really good job of sneaking Zerglings in here.
So
that
clever.
was great.
So what Morrow is really trying to see is it going to be a command center? There could be a possibility of a lot of barracks being thrown down. We saw someone like TLO did a 5 barracks. Was it 5? No, 6 barracks.
The
6 barracks rush, and that destroyed his opponent. His opponent at the time was Vibe. that's the first time he pulled it off. And
I don't remember the vibe, but I do remember him beating Idra with it before.
Yeah, he did that to Idra as well. But
yeah.
no, it was the first week of NASL Season 1. Vibe and him just had a huge long macro game, and then he follows it up on Crossfire with a 6 racks rush. Yeah. It was scary.
Sounds pretty scary. We do have the metabolic boost coming in for Morrow, getting that Zergling speed. That's going to allow him to really dominate these Marines and deny map presence if he tries to move out. It's really risky for Marines to move out once Zerglings do have speed upgrade. Yeah,
but this is a bit of a precarious situation right now. Baneling Nest is coming up, and it looks like these Marines are going to be bearing down on this natural. This is so scary for Morrow, because Morrow does not have metabolic boost just yet. The Queens are going to get in here, and this is a perfect timing. Oh my god, Stutter Step might have gone too far into the creep, but still Stutter Stepping really, really well. Additional 3 Marines are going to come over here and doing great job. Looks like there's so many Marines left. Now all of these drones are just going to skedaddle. It looks like 6 roaches are on the way. Is it going to be here in time, though? These, oh my god, that 1 roach is just going to be decimated, and now finally the Queen goes down. This is an excellent position for Softball. Softball is doing so much damage, now finally getting cleaned up. It looks like these roaches are going to be too much. Stutter Stepping all the way up. They're going to pick off, it looks like some of these drones. 1 drone goes down before he dies, and a great early harassment coming in from Softball. 7 drones killed total.
Yeah, that was amazing right there by Softball. He read his opponent, and he attacked at just the right time. Zergling speed was not done, and he did control his Marines really well with that Stutter Step. And you have to give it to him. That gave him a huge advantage. And Morrow might be thinking, maybe I'm just going to all in. You know, he does have the Baneling Nest. He has continued pumping Zerglings nonstop. So I'm thinking we might see a Roach Baneling all-in come up from Morrow.
That is most certainly what it's going to be. The big problem is that second Queen isn't there, so he's going to have far less larva. 3 bunkers are up, 4th one on the way, and it looks like Morrow just says, nope, maybe another time. Nope, more Banelings going to be made right now. And that's going to be bad because Stim is almost finished, actually 40 seconds away. If Stim can somehow finish in time for this attack, or, you know, he's alive for some attack when Stim is up, then he'll be in a much better position. But now is going to be the very, very tough carry situation for Softball. Softball needs to be able to defend against this, and I don't know if he has the means to. It's just going to come down to Micro.
Yeah, people underestimate how powerful the Roach Baneling buff actually is. The Roaches are so good at tanking damage, while Banelings are, well, they're just good at killing everything. Yeah. So even stuff they're not supposed to kill, they kill. But we do see even more Banelings being morphed here, and pretty much he's spending all of his gas on these Banelings. So once this, like, final couple Banelings get finished morphing, I'm sure we're going to see a huge bust coming from Morrow.
The worst timing, too. He's putting down all of the add-ons for all of his barracks. So we're going to see a huge bust right now. Stim is finished. Does he go ahead and Stim? Not yet. Finally, a little bit later, but there are just way too many Banelings. It looks like he's not going to be able to repair, and this is just too many units. Banelings are going to explode on the SCVs. It looks like more units are piling in from Morrow. The first siege tank is out. Is it going to be enough to stop all of this? There's 1 bunker that has nothing inside of it. He has a lot of production. Look at that. A total of 7 barracks. Of course, I count all these as 2. It's going to be able to produce enough units, but a lot of damage has been already done. Now, Morrow behind this is droning up, knowing that his opponent lost so many SCVs from that entire engagement. I think Morrow is just going to settle down and look to macro up after this, knowing he's gotten such a decisive advantage against his opponent.
Yeah, I couldn't agree anymore. This is exactly what he wanted. He just wanted to gain an advantage. He didn't need to kill his opponent here. He just needs to gain the advantage, and that's, I think, what he did here. If we look at the Harvester count, it is 39 drones to 27 SCVs, and Softball's expansion command center is still lifted. Now, what Softball has done, though, he has made another command center, turned it into an orbital command, so that's going to give him 3 orbital commands that'll help him catch back up in the economic game. But he really needs to get something done with this drop that's coming up.
Yes, he does, and it looks like he has a lot of ability to do that. Now, the big problem is that Morrow sent out all of his units, and he doesn't have a lot at home, and drops become a lot more powerful when there's not many units on the ground. You have to defend the same amount area, but you have a lot less units to cover all that perimeter. Now, finally, the drop is going to come down there. Our units are going to go over there and defend against this. This hatchery is losing a lot of life, and it looks like he's going to just stutter step, try to take down this hatchery. It will be canceled. Very nicely done. And there it goes again. But the big thing is that there is another command center coming out from Softball. He's going to be able to get a lot of SEVs very, very quickly. That gives him the ability to go ahead and re-saturate all of his bases.
Yeah, we do have a Spire that just got laid down and a macro hatch, actually. So now Morrow's going to be up to 4 hatcheries soon, and that's going to allow him to have a ton of production. And we did see that he wanted to go the Spire tech, so that's going to allow not only for him to control the air, but also be able to harass. If we look at the positions of the players, Muta Harass is really good against harassing that main. A drop is going down, though, in the third base of the Zerg player, but he is kind of prepared for that. Queens are coming to help deny this medevac from being able to do any kind of damage.
Yep, and you can see the Zerglings are just on move command following that entire medevac, making sure that it never drops its cargo. Even like something like 6 Zerglings can probably kill, maybe a little bit more, maybe 8 Zerglings can kill everything that comes out of a medevac just because it follows. So very, very studious of Morrow. In the end, when it comes down to, whoa, that's a lot of meals. But in the end, what it comes down to is Softball has a huge production. He had off of 2 base. He's about to get his 3rd base. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. Who do you think has the advantage this time?
I mean, even though Terran's in the supply advantage at the moment, I give it to the Zerg to have the actual advantage at this point because he's already got his 3rd base up. And, I mean, Terran's floating his 3rd base over there right now, but I feel like these mutas are going to be able to do a lot of damage. I don't feel like he's preparing very much for this. Yeah. So any good muta control, and I feel like he can gain a significant advantage from this.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We do see that he's on 1-1 as well, Softball that is. So he will be able to deal with mutas pretty easily. It looks like he's edging out a little bit in the front. This is going to be the tough attack coming in from Softball. Coming in from Morrow. No, Softball, excuse me, that Morrow has to defend right now. There's the big scan. There we go. I'm just like, and now finally he's just going to back up, deny that creep. Very nice, and he's just going to drop back. I like this decision to drop back and just force his opponent to make a lot of units. But does that mean all of his mutas are way out of position? No, all of his units are way out of position for these mutas. Might be. Only time will tell if Morrow goes in for the attack, but no, he's not going to.
Yeah, and we do see that Zerg has definitely take the supply advantage now. From being even to being up by 30 is a pretty big deal. And we do see that Terran's going to need to be defensive for a little while. I would like to see some more action from Morrow with these mutas. They're just kind of chilling around with his army, and they really, I mean, the reason we make muta is to harass and to control the air and stuff like that, to force the opponent to manipulate his army position.
Precisely, and we do see finally the mutas getting in here. There's a lot of area where you can take advantage of it. Looks like Marines are aptly placed, and now finally taking out this one. Oh, the medevac might go out. No, it won't. Actually, he's going to go for this tech lab, which doesn't cost that much, but again, it's just annoying. He's not really trying to do a lot of damage. He's basically saying, hey, I have mutas, stay in your base. Don't go out. I want to max the 200-200.
Or even if he does move out, he's kind of forcing him to leave something at his base. He's forcing him to leave some Marines and maybe a medevac behind in case of a muta counter.
Yeah, the best thing would probably be something like a Thor. If you left a Thor there, which a Thor is coming out right now. Where is it? There it is. Oh, no! It's stuck. It is a stuck Thor. Poor Thor. And he's just going to chill out there. The one medevac goes down. And finally, there it goes. And the Thor is still stuck. Is he going to be able to get out? I think it might be able to slip here. Now he needs to drop these. It's like a maze.
Has to run a marathon to get out of its base.
Yep, there he goes. And
I still think it's
stuck. He gets out of here. Nope, it's stuck over here. All right, this Thor is screwed.
Yeah, right. The Thor, he realized it too. He's like, all right, just hold position here.
Yeah.
If he drops me,
this Thor, he wasn't like that. He was like, all right, screw it, I'm done. I'm done. I'm just staying here.
He wasted like 100 APM trying to get that out of the base. Yeah. And he's like, it's not worth it. My macro is slipping. I'm not even positioning my army now. It's like, I'm still worried about this Thor. But see, that's tilting to me.
Oh,
when I play Terran and something's stuck, it's like, that's it. The game's over.
Yep.
Now all my units are stuck in my base.
To be honest, I've actually quit a game because of that. I kid you not. No! He took out the turret! Oh my
gosh. That shot.
Goodness.
That one volley weakened all the mutas.
All of those mutas. But you know what? Critically, he took out that one turret, and now the Thor is free. In fact, those mutas helped out. So, needless to say, apparently Morrow likes to buff Terran.
To buff Terran. Yeah. That's exactly what he likes doing. I see there's a scan that goes down on the Zerg's army. He does see that he is kind of spread out. He does want to kind of flank. Zerg doesn't want to send everything in one ball. They want to attack from as many angles as possible, which is what we see Morrow doing here, setting up Zerglings and flanks in all these different locations, which is great. You know, Morrow is running a lot of bases now, and a little drop's actually going here at 6 o'clock. Mutas probably will go to clean that up. I don't think that it's going to be... I don't think the hatchery's going to die.
Yep, it's going to be really, really close.
Yeah,
Zergling's finally getting there, and the hatchery will probably go down. There it goes. But you know what? The big thing is the Mutas are all out of position. Is that going to be Softball's cue to go ahead and push out? Yes, it is. There the Siege tanks go, and leapfrogging. That's the more important thing. A lot of players just go all the way out. A command center is coming down here. Wants to put a planetary fortress down there. ASAP. It looks like a Marine and Marauder squadron force is going to be taken out. And here we go. I think Softball wants to go in right away. Is this going to be the big trigger by Morrow? There's a lot of units surrounding all of this. There's a drop going on in the third, but there are spine crawlers. And here we go. The big engagement is coming. Zerglings and Banelings come from every single side. Banelings aren't able to connect completely onto those Marines, but finally it's just going to be too much. And oh my god, going all the way back to the natural. Goodbye every single one of these Terran armies. It's going to be Mutas that clean up everything, but in the back, is that drop going to be enough? It looks like those Marines will be cleaned up to just those spine crawlers alone. And now finally Morrow pushing back everything. These supply depots are going to be killed. It looks like there is not enough production to keep up with this. The Mutas are just doing too much damage. Where are your medevacs? You don't have medevacs. Finally, the Thor is saying, okay, I'll actually do something. Goes out to the front and wants to actually get into here. But of course, as soon as Thor comes in here, the Mutas leave.
One thing I have to say, I feel like what would have made Softball that much better this game is if he would have used the energy on his command centers. If we look at his command centers, 2 of his command centers have 100 yeah, it's 100, 200 energy. Yeah, okay. I was thinking max. I didn't know if I kind of forgot for a second if it was 100
That would
or
be
200.
great if you can. If they had 100 energy and all meals were cost at 25. I would smile so much, sir. I would switch back to Terran. That's what would happen. I was like, yeah, those meals are pretty good.
Pretty good.
Nevertheless, Softball is pushing out yet again. Now, that is a lot of larva that Morrow just used. That's the big thing. Right. Is he going to be able to remake that? I don't think he's actually going to do that. He's switching up. Infestors, 7 Infestors on the way. That's a really, really scary force. And he's going to switch to, well, mainly Zergling Infestor. Looks like
he still needs to be careful about these Mutas not clumping up, but the Thor's not targeting him, so it's perfectly fine. Fungal does go down. Zerglings are surrounding. These tanks will fall, and losing those tanks are a big hit because that stops Terran from being able to be aggressive.
Yes, but you know what? Softball is in a position where he can just slowly push to every single expansion. Every expansion he takes, it makes it harder and harder for Zerg to really destroy. Of course, he's taking that 4th right now, and you know what? Morrow has to remake his entire army. But the good thing about Morrow's army is that it doesn't take a lot of money to remake it. It's just Zerglings and Banelings.
Right. It's true. You know, Infestors do not cost a lot of minerals. They are mostly a gas investment. And now that Morrow has even got 6 o'clock natural expansion, he's on so many geysers right now. And I just don't know what Terran can do at this point to really climb back into this.
Well, the big thing is he needs that static defense that is able to take out things like Infestors and stuff like that. Nice fungal growth going down all over the place, killing all these Marines. But what I was saying before is you need things like bunkers. Bunkers with that +2 capacity. I mean, having 6 Marines in a bunker, it's insane what you can do with that +2 armor, all that stuff. It negates all of the Zerglings and negates all of the Infestors, and you're able to really clamp down in such positions and hold it. I think, you know, that's going to be the thing of the future. I'm telling it, the Gretorp upgrades.
All right, upgrades. Huge fungal growth, though, catches all these Marines, and these medevacs are actually out of energy, so they can't even try to save them. There is so many mules at this expansion, and so many of them are being picked off right now.
But yeah, I mean, this constant combination of Infestor and Muta is so annoying, and when you don't have a Thor out, that's when it really, really affects you. Of course, we don't have a Thor. Let's go ahead and go to Units tab. No Thor out, no Thor in production, so it makes such a hard time. Now 8, count them, 8 Broodlords in construction. This is going to be probably the game-ending composition.
Nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
That's what this is going to be.
Owie, owie. That's what I always have to say about that. Owie, owie. Now finally turrets being put up. Again, good static defense, but I heard they're not too good against Broodlords.
Yeah, not too good against Broodlords. Dropped in the bottom. 6 o'clock natural expansion. Did clean up almost all the drones, but I mean, aren't you only hurting yourself at this point? He's just going to make more Broodlords now.
Yeah.
Less drones equal more army at this point.
I mean, he only has 73 harvesters right now, 72 now, because he's making a lot of spine crawlers apparently. I don't know where. Oh, it's going to be in this bottom position. Yep, there they go. 4 spine crawlers. That's exactly what you want to do. Now finally the Broodlords starting. Do we have Vikings? Nope. GG comes out from softball. Mark's going to take game number 1. And softball looked pretty good, I have to say. I mean, Morrow looked beast mode.
Yeah.
But to be honest, softball looked really, really good. We saw him play against Idra the first week. He did not look as good in that game. But this time around, I really feel like Morrow, there were some times where you had to be really careful. But Morrow ultimately, just with that huge flank, that's what Zergs really need to do. That was a beautiful, beautiful executed flank.
Yeah, he also, what I love about Morrow is he controls his army so well.
Yes.
Like if you look at his position, it's not just all sitting together in one giant ball. He actually has it spread out in different locations, controlling different watchtowers, controlling different parts of the map, and really having that map presence they needed. And, you know, softball did a good job with harassing a lot. Like from the very beginning where he sent the Marines out, did a lot of damage, killed the Queen, and he actually forced Morrow into a semi-all-in-ish kind of attack to where he needed to do some kind of damage with that Roach, Ling, Baneling attack. And yeah. Morrow made it work.
Yeah, Morrow did, and just his constant combinations, constant great army composition, the Infestor Broodlords at the end. I don't know how he got so much gas, but again, he was able to retain so much. I think it's because he's off of, what, 10 gas?
Yeah, I mean...
something insane. That's the power of 10 gas, sir.
That is.
And looking so good. Anyway, we're going to move into game number 2. Again, this is the North American Star League, and you are watching Morrow versus Softball.